Yes.
All right. And
I'd love to share with the rest of my students.
Okay, great. Yes. And a very warm welcome to our guest speaker today, Dr. Govender. As you know, we cherry pick our speakers and they are of the highest caliber. So when I called him up, he didn't have to think about it. Within a nanosecond, he said yes. And that's something absolutely amazing about Dr. Govender. I would like to say no relation of mine, but I think if we connect us, we somehow in some space, we are actually related. And such is the enthusiasm of the man, his energy, and that's the reason why he's a speaker today. So just a little background about Dr. Govender. He also shared a podcast with me. And, it took me back to 85. I think he mentioned that he was using DOS. And I think the youngsters amongst us are probably too young to even know what DOS is. We were using these monochromatic screens and people were writing their own codes to do little bits and pieces just to move a cursor. And today with Windows and all the other platforms like Python and stuff like that, we are so blessed. It's taken all that away from us, all the pain away from us. And so that just took me back in time when life was so much more difficult. So just a bit of background. There's so much to him. So I apologize. I have to read. Generally, I don't read. But Dr. Govender is an academic and he's part of the Durban University of Technology. And he's part of the Department of Information Systems in the Faculty of Accounting and Informatics. His areas of specialization, and these are just a few of them because this man's knowledge is far and wide, and it covers a huge spectrum of things. So it includes information technology, software engineering, and pedagogy. So I hope I pronounced that word correctly, of teaching and learning. He's one of those rare academics who's also a teacher. And that is very difficult for people to understand. When I say academic, people think it's naturally a teacher, and that's not the case. So as an emerging researcher, he has published works both locally and internationally on various subjects. I know he's attended many international courses. He's always enthusiastic to broaden his horizon. He always invites me to these things as well. It's amazing. He also supervised postgraduate students in the areas of cloud computing. Hopefully, you'll tell us more about that. Utilization of e-resources, and obviously in teaching and learning at the university and beyond. Always involved in community engagement, gives up his time, including teaching computer literacy to school learners. And he's also the faculty e-learning representative and also a representative on the institutional project-based learning trainer. So yeah, he is always very happy to get his hands into many, many projects. I'm hoping today he can actually enlighten us on what IT is. His posts on Facebook, IT, everything is linked to that. It's absolutely amazing. He holds a PhD from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and he's going to tell us a lot more. So hopefully, Dr. Govender, I did you justice in that, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Megan. You did more than justice. I'm going to share my screen while we introduce and chat to each other. Just tell me, Megan, if you can see my screen. It should say IT and coding, its importance in our everyday lives.
Yes.
Future applications. Great, great. So I must really thank you for that introduction. It's really nice to hear stuff about myself. But I always say I won't be worth all the qualifications if you don't learn something from me after spending some time with me. And I hope that you don't mind, Megan, if I introduce my colleague as well. I know you only invited me, but I'm going to bring along my colleague. This is my little mini me. Megan, would you mind if we share this platform with my mini me?
Not at all. Please do.
Oh, okay. This is my mini me. This is my little robot. And I'm going to talk to you about this. Believe it or not, this little mini me robot has some influence in terms of what IT is all about as well. So I don't mind, Megan, if you or any of the students, the grade 9 and grade 10 pupils, they interrupt me. That's fine with me. If you have a question, you don't have to wait till the end of the presentation. Stop me, raise your hand. Megan, you can check whether they have a question or query, and I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. I hope after spending about 30 minutes with me, that you'd have learned something, something you would have been able to take home and say, listen, oh, by the way, you should be at home because we are doing a Zoom lesson and you are at home, I'm at home, and the magic of information technology, right? By the way, Megan, I have to confess, our very first meeting, and I want to share this with everybody. I met Megan at University of Durban, Westville. It was then prior to it being UKZF, and he does all his lovely magic shows. And I was sitting in the front, and there he was doing a magic show with his boudoir biscuit, and he dipped it in, Megan, was it nitrogen, liquid nitrogen?
Liquid nitrogen, yes.
Yeah. And I can tell you now, I was a little bit scared of having that biscuit, Megan, but after I had it, I became a smoker. So thank you very much for that memory. And I'm so glad to share the stage with you and to share a little of what I know about IT. So Megan asked me to talk about IT and coding. And you want to know, I said, what is it for me? When I say it, I mean information technology. And believe it or not, I've been in it for a very, very long time. And I'm going to talk to you as grade 9 pupils and grade 10 pupils contemplating a career in information technology. When I say a career, I mean taking IT or computer studies or CAT at grade 10, 11, and 12. I'd also like to encourage you to continue with this, not just me, but my mini-me robots out here as well. So starting off, do you have any questions? Yeah. In the chat, Megan, is there anything, or may I proceed?
All clear for now, Prinavin.
Okay, great. So here we go. Let's go to the next slide. And am I on the right slide? Yes, there we go. So one of the aspects was the importance of IT. Now, maybe I can ask you a question. Do you know of any aspect of your life, I'm talking about your modern life basically, that does not encompass either a cell phone, my cell phone, or a Wi-Fi device, or MiFi device, or a little robot, or any aspect of information technology? One, I can't think of any. And you can post it in the chat. If you can't think of something like that, that's Levon, or is it Megan, or Nitu, or even my wife Vinesh, I would be, I'd eat my hat, because I can't think of anything. In your home, you are having information technology concepts. The fact that you are using a laptop, Zoom over the internet, maybe you have DSTV, that's information technology, right? You are downloading movies. You are watching a movie of Netflix. Information technology. At school, believe it or not, I've seen some school reports. The entire report had been printed on a computer. They used some aspect of computer technology, information technology, in order to do that. At our university, all our marks are on the ITSS system. Every single examination paper is computed or calculated or typed out on a computer. Your car, believe it or not, the modern day cars, they have a computer chip in it. On mine, it will tell me my service is due, the service is overdue. How does it know that? How does it know that after 12 months it needs to send me a reminder? Okay, it will tell me my average speed. It will tell me my, what else does it tell me? Megan, does your car have that?
I don't have a very high-tech car, Prinavin.
No, don't tell me that. I'm sure it tells you that it has, when you got a full petrol, doesn't it? The light comes on.
Yeah, it does give the basic information. Yes.
Yes. So it has a sensor in there, and that sensor would be able to detect the level of petrol. So somehow or the other, it has a circuit diagram, and it's dealing with information technology. Let's talk about shopping. We have online shopping, and it has boomed. It has taken off in the last couple of months. Anybody? Devasha, do you do online shopping? Or Mr. Collins out there? Anyone? I know, I think Me Too does online shopping. Megan, what do you think? Does she do
Yes.
online shopping?
Yes, I
Oh,
actually
right.
see that my balance on the credit card disappears or reduces,
Yes,
and it's obviously
yes,
linked to online shopping.
exactly. And believe it or not,
Prinavin,
Megan,
one of the things that we like doing at home is ordering on Mr. D.
yes,
So that's also online shopping.
yes. Okay, great. So you are using the concepts of information technology. So for those prospective grade 9 and grade 10 pupils, there it is. Nitu and Megan are considering or they're using the concepts of a computer. They're logging onto a network. They are accessing a server. They're accessing a shopping website. They are browsing the web for an article that they want to buy, and then they make a purchase. I think Sayuri Naidu, would you like to also tell us what you buy online?
I don't actually do online shopping.
Oh no, she's okay, okay. But do your parents do online shopping?
Yeah, once or twice, maybe.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Do you access the internet for to browse certain websites or to access email?
Yes, my mother uses email.
Oh, great, great. So believe it or not, she is actually using concepts of information technology. Now, I put on a last statement out there. I said every aspect deals with information technology, or if you want to call it IT or PC or whatever. And in my view, in my humble opinion, I feel that if we don't embrace IT, we must return to the wild. Right? I got that from Ben Fogel. I like to watch these movies. And when I say return to the wild, I feel that we need to go back to the jungle with no electricity and no computers and no programming of that sort. Right? I don't know what you think about that, Megan. Do you think you'd be able to return to the wild?
I think we're so far advanced. Returning to the wild would take something extraordinary, I think. Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Prinavin,
Okay.
I
Yes.
think Levon has got a question. He says, what about sleeping? So I'm not sure what that means.
Oh, what about sleeping? When you are sleeping, let me read that question. What about sleeping? Levon, do you want to unmute and ask the question? What? In fact, yes, Levon.
You said every aspect in our life has IT
Mm-hmm.
involved. Isn't sleeping
Mm-hmm.
like an aspect in our life?
Believe it or
am
not.
I wrong?
Well, believe it or not, when you are sleeping, and let's say, for instance, you have your Apple Watch, or you have one of these smart watches on you, it can actually monitor your sleep patterns. So I don't know, Levon, whether you want to catch me out there or not, but information technology even invades your sleep, right? What about when you need to get up? You have an alarm on your cell phone, and your cell phone is a mini computer. So there's an information technology aspect to it. What do you say to that, Levon? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me?
Yeah, I agree.
You agree. Oh, thank you. I've converted you. Okay. I'm so happy for that. Thank you, Megan, for monitoring the chat. All right. So let's go on. So now, Megan asked me to inform you what is this concept of information technology, IT. What is it? Oh, my little mini me says that he's a product of IT. Yes, yes, that's right, right? By the way, I'm the only person that can hear the robot. Not you can't hear it. And I deactivated it on purpose because this mini me robot may just take over the presentation. And I don't want that right now. Okay. Now that's the time I'm supposed to be laughing or some reaction over there. I can't see you guys. I don't know whether you're with me or not. Megan, should I
think it's for the modern learner, I think it's called a lol moment.
A lol. Oh yes, LOL.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's That's right, Megan. Yes. So I think, should I deactivate or activate my robot, Megan, or should I continue?
Maybe you should activate it.
Let
Let's
me
just see what you
continue.
can do. Yes.
Let me continue. Okay, let me continue. But next time I'll definitely put the robot, not me. Okay. So here I am talking about programming. Now I could have programmed this mini robot to perform certain actions. Or instead of using the word programming, we call it coding. So we in South Africa, we tend to use the word programming. But these Americans, they say coding, coding, coding. And there's another nice word that goes with it. It's compiling. So if I had to write or type something out in a high-level language, and I convert it into a programming language, into an executable code, and not me now, the computer or this little robot, then it is compiling. So that's another nice word. So today, if you didn't know that word, at the end of this lecture, you learned something. You learned a new word. That's compiling. All right? And the person who does that is a programmer. Now, to me, now Megan said, what is IT to me? To me, I feel that a purist is a programmer, someone who writes an app. That's an IT guy, right? But I have to be open to suggestions as to what it may also encompass. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that just now. Okay? So, how's it going? Are we okay? Any questions? I can see there's a question in the chat. Megan, would you mind?
No, it was just a comment. Someone had a lull
Okay.
moment and then said, I like mini-me.
I like him too. I like him too. All right? Yes, yes, yes. The next time I'll activate mini-me. Okay? All right. So feel free to stop me anytime. Now? Okay, so I know Megan is recording this and we're going to post this on YouTube. And I know that I have some of my academics from DUT out here. So I said I'll use a big word like threshold concept. Okay? So don't get worried, grade 9 and grade 10. What I'm telling you is there are certain aspects of programming that have been with us throughout my lifetime. Okay? Now, you would have noticed that I'm a little bit older than you guys. I lack some hair out there, but I'm not that old. Okay? I think I'm younger than Megan. I'm not sure. Right? But anyway, in 1986, there were some concepts in programming, and believe it or not, it's still prevalent in 2021. So for instance, if we had something like functions, right, or procedures, this is modular designs. So as an IT programmer, you won't write out the entire program from top to bottom. You'll only have a little aspect of that program, a teeny weeny tiny function, right? But it'll have all the, I'll call it the criteria to call it a little program. Then you have something like classes. Now, it's not the classes that you're thinking about, grade 12 class, maths class, English class. That's something else. And that's what you will learn if you have to study IT. And I sincerely hope you do, because like I said, I can't think of any aspect of modern day life that doesn't have some aspect of an IT concept in there. Then in 1986 and 1987, there was this concept of an assignment statement where we had a variable and it was took on a value. You know about that? Yes. Manimi says they are well aware of an assignment statement. So you are informing the computer that I want to use the computer's memory in order to store something. Believe it or not, when I have my cell phone and I want to download an application, I am taking the application from Google Play Store and I'm storing it on the computer. So I'm basically assigning some memory to it. And I think this concept of assignment will stay with us for the next couple of years. So when Megan told me that, listen, you guys are grade 10 and grade 11, I thought to myself, listen, in about 4 or 5 years' time, you'll be graduating from university. Okay, let's say 3 years' time is grade 12. We're looking at about 5, 6 years, Megan, what do you say?
Yes, absolutely.
And I think, absolutely. So I think these concepts will still stay around, right? And information technology. And then we get another important concept. which I'm going to call a threshold concept. It means you've got to get to grips with it. You've got to understand it. It's the selection statement, right? The selection. So it's where we make a choice. For instance, if my mini-me has to be moving, and he hits a wall, what does he do? Does he stay there, or does he reverse, or does he keep on banging the wall? That's a decision that my mini-me has to make, right? If I am hungry, then I will eat. If I am tired, Levon, then I need to sleep, okay? So that's a selection statement in IT programming. And the other one that's important to me, and I want to convey that to you, is this concept of repetition, doing something over and over and over again. Mini-me is a typical example of this. If Mini-me had to work in a car industry and Mini-me had to weld the doors on the car or do some repetitive action, Mini-me would be able to do it over and over and over again. 24/7, 365 days a year. And I suspect that's what's going to be happening in a few years' time with information technology programming. We're going to be starting to program these little mini-me robots, okay? So, do I have any questions about information technology programming, the words coding, or things about modular design, or assignment statements, selection? Is there anything in the chat?
Yes, Prinavin. Aryan
Yes.
wants to know what's a good beginner language to learn.
That's an excellent question. I love this. So Aryan is asking about a language. Now, just for the benefit of everybody else, Aryan is talking about a computer programming language. So I try to make it, Aryan, as general as possible in this presentation. And I told you that all programming languages will have this concept of modular design. I'm talking about the modern day languages. We call them fifth generation languages, right? I'm not talking about a long olden day. When I say olden days, I'm talking about the 1970s and 80s assembly language. So presently, there's a language called Python. I think Megan mentioned that earlier on. That seems to be quite popular. But just like you have different cars that will have different features, so a Ferrari will be very fast, but it'll only have 2 doors and 2 as a motor vehicle. And truck will also have 4 wheels, but it'll be able to transport lots of programming language in that respect. There will be certain languages that will benefit a first-year student, that's new programming. There'll be certain languages that will benefit an experienced programmer, right? Or someone that's easy, it will be easy to work with. Now, in my studies, there's a programming language called Scratch. And in America, the Harvard Extension School, they actually start off their university level students in this course called CS50 on Scratch. Google that, right? Google will tell you that Scratch is a programming language. That's very easy to implement. All you've got to do is drag and drop an icon, and you'll be able to have programming compiling. Remember, I used the word compiling, Aryan? So that's the easiest I will consider, in my view, to start you off on programming. Right? I hope I answered your question, Aryan. Megan, is that okay with Aryan?
I'm sure it will be if he researches what you said. And
okay.
We also have, thank you for that, Prinavin. And then we have another question from Ayabulela, and he says, what's the difference between JavaScript and Python?
Okay, that's also a very, very good question, right? Java is, oh, by the way, I like to have Mocha Java. Do you like Mocha Java, Megan?
No, I'm more a tea person. I hope I'm in the right context.
Of course you are. I caught you out there, Megan. Mocha Java is coffee, right? Java is a programming language. I think Java is also, is it a country or something? I don't know, right? I only know IT. Right. So JavaScript and Python, in my view, I'd like to think that the syntax is different. Now, let me spell that word for you. syntax. Syntax means the way I write my programming language. So let's say, for instance, I know Afrikaans. I can say, Goeiemôre, dames en heren, hoe gaan dit met u vandaag? I'm saying in English, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I've said the same thing, but in a different language. But if you understood Afrikaans, which I hope you are, because you're like grade 10 pupils or grade 9 pupils, you should be doing Afrikaans, you would be able to, you also, Manimi says that also understands Afrikaans and also understands machine code. Oh, good, right? And he agrees that that's what it is. Yes, I'm going to put you away, Manini. You're taking away all the attention from me. You go there. So, Ayabulela, Gumeri, that's what I would say is different. It's the way you write the code. But the answer that you're going to get from a problem should be the same. So you should be able to say, if I'm going to take a variable and add it to another variable, I'm going to get the same output, whether I do it in JavaScript or whether I do it in Python. All right? Now, it's like me saying, greeting you in English and greeting you in Afrikaans. The message is the same. The message is, when I say the message is the same, I mean the message is that I am saying good morning to you, or good afternoon to you, or good evening to you. The output should be the same. All right? Does that? I hope that answers your question. Right. I'm looking at my time. It's already 6:30, and I've been talking for half an hour. And here I was, Megan. I only told you that I'm going to talk for about 20 minutes. So bear with me, Megan. I hope you don't mind if I go on, if I take a little more time. So another very important concept that I want to talk to you about is the fourth industrial revolution. Now, why I'm telling you this is you are going to be in grade 10, even 12, and after that you're going to be studying at university. I hope that's what you're aiming for, right? And by then, you're not going to have the fourth industrial revolution. Maybe you'll have the fifth, sixth, seventh industrial revolution. By the way, some researchers actually say that. Oh, Toko, do you have a question? No. Okay. So let me just talk to you about these revolutions. I don't think I'll do that in history. Any of you know the Industrial Revolution in history? Studying history? What's a revolution? Or the French Revolution? Anyone of you? Zenande, Sahita, Toko?
Yeah, back in
Anyone
like grade
else?
7, I think we did it.
Yes, Kush, what did you do in what did you learn about this revolution?
It's been so long I can't remember, but I remember the Industrial Revolution was something about where technology, it was like a boom in technology.
Yeah, okay, that's the industrial. Now, when I say the machines, I put out a little quote out there. I said, man's muscular power. So with the Industrial Revolution, we got to grips with man taking over, not sorry, machines taking over the ability for man so that he could sit back and he doesn't have to work so hard and he could save his muscular power. By the way, I hope you can see my big muscles here, right? Megan, I don't know if you got more muscles than me, right? Okay. Right. Megan, do you have Megan? You're unmuted there. What do you think? Who's more muscular, Megan?
I'm going to say you.
This is another loud moment. Oh, me. Oh, thank you. But now, in the fourth industrial revolution, we are actually talking about this technology advancement, right? You got concepts like 3D printing, you got cloud computing, you got artificial intelligence, and all that goes with that, right? So in my view, I feel the next couple of revolutions, it's going to take place where we're not going to be talking about muscular ability to be able to lift something up. We're going to be talking about the computer, and there's this mini-me robot kind of taking over the way we process information, right? The way we conscientize ourselves. And why I'm bringing this up to you is I think there's about 30 of you sitting in this Zoom meeting. In about 7 or 8 years' time, I think that's going to be a hot topic to study, a hot topic to research, if not in the next 2 or 3 years' time. I don't know how long it'll take for it to reach South African shores, but I think that's what we need to worry about. Right? Oops, here we go. That's my chair. See, I was talking about me having muscles, and now I have to get another chair because I can't be standing and talk. You know, maybe I should just stand and talk to all of you, right? That would be cool. That would be cool. But I do need another chair, right? Megan, would you mind if I get another chair quickly? I can't be standing, yeah?
I can email one to you.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Or, you know, I was talking to you about the fourth industrial revolution. Maybe we can have a 3D printer in order to print and design another chair. What do you say to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, Megan, give me 10 seconds. I'll get another chair because I know I'm going to be another good couple of times. And I've got my dog in my room, so she wants to go out as well. Sorry about that. We'll take a 10-second break. Okay, make it a 30-second.
Okay, great, excellent. Anyone in the meantime has a question? I know Levon's got something on the chat, so towards the end we'll bring that into our discussion. Anyone else? Just put something up
Got
onto
like
the chat.
2 questions, but I just send it in chat, sir.
Yeah, that'll be a great idea. Traden as well, let's just send something through. Yes, excellent. All right.
Right. So it's what's your thought on AI that can write its own code or write code for other users and other things? What's your thoughts about schools using Delphi for beginners? Oh, let's start with the one about Delphi. I like Delphi. And Megan, I've got all the resources for grade 10, 11, and 12. I've got this from the subject advisor. His son is studying IT at college, university. So if you want to share the aspects of Delphi, yes, we can do that, right? Then the talk about, it says AI. AI is artificial intelligence. And can artificial intelligence write its own code? Now that's what I've been talking about, where researchers are now developing and designing robots. But I like watching all those films about AI and you know, the Hollywood science fiction stuff about all of this. And believe it or not, I feel in a year or maybe a year or two, we're going to actually experience the concepts that was once thought out to be far-fetched in terms of AI. Megan, I know you're recording this. Maybe we should take a bet if I'm going to be I'm going to hit the nail on the head or not, right? So it's actually happening as we speak about how robots can work in terms of finding a problem and now deciding whether they need to plot a different course of action based on what they see in terms of what's happening out here. And believe it or not, this is now, I hope I don't push, I'm talking a little bit out in terms of outer space. You know, Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. And AI, artificial intelligence robots, will be needed in order to ensure that that robot goes out there, goes and hopefully creates another habitat for us, mankind, so that we can go out there. And this concept of artificial intelligence and having the ability of a robot to generate its own, when I say code, not necessarily code, but its own ability to problem solve will be quite important. And I'm so eager to see that happening in the future. But for now, I think we need to consider the ethical issues around that, you know. But that's for another topic altogether. Today, my topic is about information technology and IT, and Kush, maybe we can take this offline as well. All right, Megan?
Yeah, there were a few other questions, but we'll bring them into the discussion at the end. Yeah, that's mainly to deal with Elon Musk and AI, and a couple of other questions from trade. Okay,
sure. Thank you, Megan. I missed that. Right. So let's go on. It talks about IS. There's another word that we talk in IT. IS stands for information systems. Believe it or not, I'm in the information systems department. And there's this thing about business applications. So like I said earlier on, if I want to talk about IT and I say I'm only dealing with programming and nothing else, then I'm going to be very, very narrow-minded in my outlook on IT. IT is, in a way, all-encompassing. So you deal with business applications, you'll deal with networking, you'll talk about IT repairs, installing, uploading, backups, all that goes with it, and even artificial intelligence, what you spoke about now. There's something called machine learning. That's another topic I could spend an hour or so talking about it, where the computer actually learns certain objects. So if you, well, okay, I drive a Volvo, and Volvo is considered one of the safest cars out there. And they have technology in that it can recognize a person that's coming on the path of a Volvo, and it would stop the car. It will apply the brakes automatically. And the way it does this is the software. It kind of taught the radar, that little device, that camera, to pick it up and says that that's a human being, stop the car. And it did it over time. So there's concepts of machine learning out there, and that is also part of information technology. I just want to mention this thing about hacking out here. Oh yeah, there we go. It's talking about hacking. I get this question a lot when I present. They say, are you a hacker? I gotta be careful. No, I'm not a hacker. No, Manimi is the hacker, not me. Manimi, go sit down there. Right. Hacking means you kind of go into another computer system without the user knowing what's going on, right? And you kind of steal the information, and that's not very good. Okay, so all of you are going to be ethical programmers, and you're not going to be involved in hacking. And then I got a quote out there that says, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write. We take for granted all of you can read and write. I hope you can. But those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So I was taught MS-DOS. And I think, Megan, you were telling me that you were also taught MS-DOS in 1990 and Fortran.
Yes.
But you weren't taught Visual Basic. Yeah, Megan. Yeah, right. So you had to unlearn MS-DOS, and then you had to relearn Windows 95, Megan? Was it or Windows 2000?
95.
95, right? So you have to learn, unlearn, relearn. And that's what I want to impart with you today. After 40 minutes of talking, you've got to learn to do that. Learn, unlearn, relearn, right? Because I'm telling you, that's what I had to do. No one taught me C++. I learned Turbo Pascal. But the concepts that I learned, remember earlier on I spoke about threshold concepts, and I spoke about the repetition and the selection and the assignment. Yes. My Manimi agrees with me. Manimi says that's what I spoke, and Manimi knows what I'm talking about, right? So Manimi will have an operating system like the Linux or Windows or the Apple Mac. And you can't say, oh, I'm only going to be a PC user or a Mac user. As an IT person or someone's getting involved or studying IT next year, you need to be open in that you want to have access to all forms of IT applications. You don't have to know everything in depth, but if you have a working knowledge of it, you will be successful. That I know, right? So what I'm getting at is continuous learning. Right. So Megan also asked me to talk about career profiles, and I like this word. It's a word called entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, simply put, Megan, it's like being your own boss. What would you say entrepreneurship is, Megan?
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, there's a difference, I think, when you're self-employed versus entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference. I think when you're self-employed, you basically are still connected to the job,
Yes.
very much so as just like someone who's employed in say the university, for example. But an entrepreneur, basically what he is able to do or she's able to do is basically gather the right team together, the right resources, and then manage, supervise it. And it's not the magic of the business. Let's put it that way. in some sense.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay. So so do you work for somebody? If you're an entrepreneur, Megan, do you work for somebody or does somebody work for you? How does
No.
what
That's
would
it.
you
Yeah,
say?
you don't have the boss. That's the whole point. And you don't
Aha.
have
So
the working hours, and you don't have the uniforms and all of that.
yes, yes, yes. Now that's what I like to promote with my students. I like to do that with my students. Very often the student says, "Oh, I want to qualify with my diploma or my degree, and I want to go and work for someone else. I want to look for a job." And I say, "Why do that? Why don't you start your own business? Why don't you start your own kind of company? Why don't you become look for a problem, try to fix it, and then get to grips with becoming this entrepreneur, right?" So keep that in the back of your mind, grade 9 and grade 10s, because that's what I'd like to promote. Something to the effect of, you becoming your own kind of boss. Like Megan said, you don't have to wear the uniform, you don't have to work a certain number of hours of that sort, right? Now, I try this with my students just to let you know. And these are students that are not IT people, right? They are not IT students. They never studied an IT diploma or IT degree. They were tax and auditing students. And I put down out there, I taught them how to create a website. And at the end of this Zoom meeting, I'm going to give you some resources where you can go and create your own website within a matter of minutes. And it's for free. Won't you like that? Don't you like that? Anybody? Megan, would you like me to tell you where to get a free website?
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So let me tell you a nice
Yes.
story about this. Yay! Is that Toko that said yes? Okay. So you got to stay till the end. I think I'm a lecturer. I can talk. It's 44 minutes, and Megan told me 40 minutes. Is it okay if I spend a few more minutes, Megan?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So this is what my student did. He created a website. He doesn't have a job. He's not working, but he said he wants to make some money. So he created a website. He put his details out there. Oh, but he also has a skill. He knows how to do tax refunds and returns. Right? Like I said, he's a tax student. And on that website, he put down his fee, consultation hours, which was very flexible, I can assure you. And he got 2 referrals. And he wanted to charge him like 200 Rand or so. I said, no, increase your price. And he made a sale. Then there was another student. While we were talking just like this, I heard roosters crowing in the background, right? It wasn't early in the morning. I don't know why the roosters were crowing. I wish I could see you guys, then I would have seen your expression in your face and you would have said hi, hello. Now all I have is my mini-me who doesn't talk that often, right? So he created a little app, and I'm going to give you a website where you can create an app. And this is what I want to instill in you guys, which was missing for me, in that we South Africans, we only want to start creating an app and a website with our students once they finish school. Why not start in high school? I'll be so happy when one of you guys, Megan, of the 30-odd students, they take it upon themselves to learn how to create an app, create and design an app, and they present it to the Google Play Store, and you can upload it. And now lots of people like it and they download it. So just to give you a little bit of mathematics, if you're going to say that every 10 Rand is a download on the app, there's 100 downloads, check out the amount of money you're going to make. Megan, you're the maths guy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. CENTS.
Yeah. And what about, do you think it's going to be so cheap? 10 Rand a download, Megan?
Well, the thing is, you could go cheaper, but increase volume.
That's another thing. You could go cheaper and increase the volume. What about on your app if you have advertisers promoting their products? Can't you get revenue from that, Megan?
Yeah, but advertisers will only pay you if they see it's worth their time, and they only see it's worth their time if they get enough, so to say, viewings.
Well, you'll never know if you don't try. What do you say, Kush?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan to me. Right. Now, designing an app, you don't need to have a business and an office and staff. you can do it yourself. So that's what I want to encourage you out here. I know Megan asked me to talk about career profiles. I could tell you about becoming a programmer, becoming a tester, a network analyst, or a systems analyst. Those are all career profiles in IT. But this is my platform. This is what I'm going to say, and this is what my opinion is all about. I feel that I need to equip you with skills or to spark that little, ignite that spark that you want to become your own kind of boss, right? So I'll leave it at that. And which brings me to the next point. It's what can you do about it? By the way, I play with it all the time, right? The word IT. Even when I'm typing, I can't type it as a small letter. See, it's just part of me, right? Now that's what you need to do and let IT become part of you, technology to become part of you. That you don't consider it a career, you don't consider it a job. It's something that you like to do. Believe it or not, this little presentation, I started at about 12 o'clock. I put aside everything else and I kind of narrowed it and focused on what I want to tell you because I got so much to say. I got so much in my head. I got the 300-page little booklet that I wrote that I want to share with you. But I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to narrow it down to 20 minutes. And believe it or not, I'm talking 50 minutes. So you can start at your school. You can tell your guidance counselor or your deputy principal that, hey, let's do IT at school. Let's do computer studies or computer-aided technology or even computer literacy. Get them to start spending money on IT infrastructure. And Sastre College did that, right? And I'm so happy to have a teeny part in creating an IT classroom with IT pupils and an IT educator out there. And the reason that why I'm encouraging it at a high school is that last year when we went into emergency remote teaching with the first year students, Megan, you'll vouch for me on this one. We noticed that the pupils or students who were pupils in a school that came from IT or computer literate as such, they were able to work much faster in terms of the computer skills necessary for remote teaching and learning as compared to a pupil who may not have had exposure to IT related concepts. So that's a little, Megan, what do you say about that? If you were exposed at school to IT and programming, maybe you'd discover that the first year student would find it easier.
Yeah, they definitely had an advantage.
Yes.
Because remember, everything was, the communications as well, email, Moodle, Teams. So, yeah. So it was much more than just switching on a computer.
Yeah. So, yes. Right. So remember earlier on, I spoke to you about the concept of code.org, where it's an app. If you go to code.org and you register on that, you'll be able to create an app. Believe it or not, there's so much resources out there on the internet. In 2016, I was at a conference and I presented and I told them that very soon, that was in 2016, 5 years ago, I said, all the information is there. We just need to point the students in the right direction. And believe it or not, that's what I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. I don't want to test people on what is IT. IT is information technology. No, I want to see whether they can go to this website and they create an application for me and present it to me. And that's how I'm going to test them or assess them in the test and exam. They need to go to the MATLAB website, access the MATLAB website, go through the processes of learning and watching the videos and answering the online assessments and coming up with the final product. So believe it or not, what I said in 2016 about content-based assessments and now what we're talking in terms of you becoming a critical and analytical thinker. Then there's another website, is Learn Digital with Google.com. I encourage my students to do this, to go and certify themselves with online courses. And I have to say, one of the courses is Audit Command Language. This is for my tax students. They now, about 7 of them have international certifications. So at the end of this year, when they get their diploma, they will also receive a certificate from Galvanized Software. And the same thing can happen with you. You go to this website. If you like, at the end of it all, if you have questions, we can play around with it. And you can do the course. You can do the IT. There's an IT course out there. You are tested and you get a certification. So at the end of grade 12, here it is, you're coming out with a grade 12 certification and a computer literacy course. Because very often people will say, I know computers, I know IT, I know programming, but you don't have the little piece of paper to prove it. And let me tell you, another very important resource is YouTube. Oh, I'm on YouTube. There's so many videos out there. Remember earlier on I spoke to you about this guy, Ben Fogel, and Return to the Wild. You get people that just decide to give it all up. They are tired of living in the city. They go to a rural area or to an island, a remote island in the ocean, and they learn how to create solar-powered apparatus and equipment by having YouTube. Oh, believe it or not, they've got a satellite link to the internet. So I don't know how they are, they want to leave it all and go to a remote island. Now, if they can learn how to create a solar dish or a solar powered stove or whatever, I'm sure you can learn lots and lots of stuff on YouTube. And I want to encourage you to go there. So as one of the resources, please go and search for me. My name is Prinavin Govender. You go and search for it, and I've got 450 subscribers. You become my student, right? And if you are going to be studying IT next year, maybe you'd like to look at the syllabus to see whether you really like it. And I'm going to give you that link as well, which I did post in the chat. And I hope that you go and have a look at it. Yeah, there we go. I've got 1,000 hours for you to watch. So if you like to look at me now for the last 55 minutes and you want to watch more of me, please go subscribe to the channel. Oh, Megan, I got to tell you this. I found you on YouTube. You are called Dr. G. On the 26th of October, there was a video posted of you. Megan, did you know that?
No.
Well, that's information technology. I found something about you. And you have 6,475 views. Wow. Megan, Beyonce got more views than you, huh?
Yeah, I guess I've got to work on my dancing skills.
Yeah. Okay. But that's quite impressive. I only get like 200 or maybe 100 views, and you got 6,000. So maybe after this Zoom meeting, we would probably get more. Okay, so I'm going to stop at this point. I don't want to talk any further. I told myself I'm only going to talk for about 40 minutes, and here I am, Megan, talking for 56 minutes. And I'm so happy and I feel so energized having shared my knowledge with you. And I hope I inspire at least 1, 2, maybe 4, 5, 6 of you to take IT next year in school and to continue to pursue it maybe at a university level. When I was in high school, my late principal at Evanford Secondary, he told me go and study IT. That time it was called computer studies. It was 1986, and I didn't know what it was, but I'm so happy he did that. He told me to do it. I studied it. I was going to do something else, and I continued all the way. So if I can tell you, I enjoy it, I like it. It's not a job for me. It's I can spend 4 or 5 hours in front of the computer. I spent about 35 years in IT, so that should tell you how old I am. If I can inspire one of you to go with that, to become a programmer or an IT guy or something to that effect in the IT field, my work as a teacher is done. Megan's work for inviting me over here is done. Right? With that, thank you very much for paying attention and for staying all the way till the end. Megan, I'll now allow open up for questions or comments or anything of that sort. You can ask me or you can ask Manini.
Okay, great. Thank you, Prinavin. I think that was absolutely amazing because I had lots of questions and I think you've answered some of them. And obviously, I will bug you as as I get more of these questions. So there are a couple of
Anytime,
questions
for
on the
you,
chat
anytime.
here. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're really thankful for that to enlighten us and to tell us exactly, to bring us up to speed. It's not, you just gave us just a taste of things, and I think you've also motivated us and inspired us to now look further, look deeper, look at your channel, look at your videos, watch them, go to those links, try and create that website, try and create an app. Because we do all of this. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on all sorts of things. We use other people's apps, and other people's creations. And I always ask the question, why can't one of our youngsters right here create an awesome app or create the next level of Facebook or something like that? It just starts with an idea. And I think that's what you told us. And, that's your big message to us as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there are a couple of questions. One early on by Traded, it says, what's the difference between dark fiber and metro Ethernet? That was the one. Dark
That's,
fiber.
Okay, I know what's fiber. I don't know what's dark fiber. I know what's Ethernet. Megan, I'll have to get back to you on that.
Sure.
Like I said, I don't know everything, but what I don't know, I think I need to Google it and find out, right? And I don't want to tell you anything, and then you find out with Google, and then you're going to say, oh, here I am lying about it. But I suspect it has something to do with connectivity and network issues, right? Ethernet cable is used to connect one computer to another or to the server. Same thing about fiber. The word dark is a little confusing out there to me. So I'll have to do some research and come back to you on that one. Next question, Megan.
Yeah, and then Kusha said something about Kali or Kali Linux.
Okay, Linux is an operating system. So I'm assuming that that's an aspect of
Yeah, it's a variant of it. I'm just curious if you've heard of it.
Yeah. So Kush is trying to check me out. That happens, Megan. The students know more than me. And believe it or not, you know how they know all of this, Megan? That's because they surf the internet. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think
actually use
Linux
it
was.
myself, that's why I'm curious.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you're curious. Well done.
Yeah, and then Linux as well. I think if I remember from my earlier days as a student, that was developed as open software, right? Competing with Microsoft and stuff like that. So it's very, very useful in the research arena. Yes.
The best part is that all versions are still open source now.
Yes.
Even until now.
That's it.
Oh, is that so, Kush? Thank you.
Yeah, Linux itself right now, it's still entirely open source. That's why some people prefer to use it as their main system on their PCs, because you're not paying a ton for Windows.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
There's a question here from Aryan. Thank you, Kush, for that. It says, what's the difference between CAT and IT? CAT and IT? I'm thinking that CAT is computer-aided technology.
Computer application technology.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Computer-aided. Right? Okay, now, Megan, let's say I don't know that answer. So I have my friend out here. What is IT, right? And I want to encourage students to do this. When I asked you here, what is IT? Someone earlier and I was going to present it. Oh, this is not IT I've been looking for. But I want to point you in the right direction in terms of that. Go and work and look. But there we go. What is information technology? Information technology is the use of computer storage, networking, and other physical devices. Right? So let's go and see what is CAT done. Maybe they're talking about the cat that Nietzsche was holding, right? Right? What is CAT in computer terms, right? So let's see if it finds an answer for you. There we go. Computer-aided translation also refers to da. Can you see my earlier concept or talk? By the way, Megan, I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So who asked the question? It was Kush. No,
it was the cat one was Aryan, if I'm not butchering the name.
Aryan, there's the answer to cat. And guess what, Aryan? I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what the answer is. I looked it up on Google. Now, my advice is don't just take this for granted that you know what Google says. Go and have a look at it at at some educational site, or go to the library website to check it out and verify that it is indeed what it says it is. But it looks kind of true to me. I don't know, Megan, what do you think? Are we talking about the cat, the four-legged animal, or this computer-aided?
I think
Megan?
it's not the four-legged animal. It's not Schrodinger's cat. Let's put it that way. It's computer-aided
It's not the
translation.
four-legged animal. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because there's another one. It includes software to aid individuals in translating, right? Yeah. Okay. There's this thing about machine learning. Remember I was talking to you earlier on? That's another nice thing to find out about machine learning. Megan, is there another question?
There was something about Elon Musk's Neuralink. Elon's Neuralink. That was from Aryan as well. What are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now let me tell you about Elon Musk, right? He's this guy that wants to go to Mars. And he's got a space company. And one of the things that he's investigating is this concept of having a microchip. If I could just read that question, let me see if I can just repeat that question about Elon Musk you asked about.
The question was just,
Megan,
what's your take on Elon Musk's Neuralink?
Yeah, Neuralink. So it kind of is that.
I just copied and pasted the message if you want to read it for yourself.
Yeah. So, oh, you good. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, the neuron link. So I think this is to do with. I know I read this up some time ago, where Elon Musk wants to install a chip and into a human being and kind of check what's going on and stuff like that. Now, personally, I wouldn't want to have a chip in my body. I don't know how you feel, Kush or Aryan. And just to ask you, Aryan, why are you asking me a question like that? Do you have the Neuralink in you? Aryan? Megan, what do you think? You've interacted with Aryan. Do you think he's got a Neuralink?
Well, he's certainly very bright.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's natural. I think it's naturally intelligence. So.
It's natural. Oh.
Like many of our students on the call, yeah. In fact, all of them. Yeah.
All of them. Yes, I'm so happy that they are spending a Thursday evening on a Zoom link. Yeah. So forget about the Neuralink. Let's talk a Zoom link, Aryan. So yeah. But thanks for the question.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So I believe the concept of Elon Musk's Neuralink is to better the people with disabilities, which could potentially, like, if a person can't hear or is blind, could potentially upgrade his vision.
Yes. So he wants to install some technological device in it. Oh, that'll be awesome. Don't you think, how you pronounce your name? Gumedi? Mr. Gumedi? Yeah, don't you think that'll be awesome? Someone that cannot see, if they could have a Neuralink inserted in them and they'd be able to see. Oh, that'll be awesome. What do you say, Megan? Wouldn't that be awesome?
I think yes. I think when you first look at these things and the research ideas, they really always look to better mankind. And if you can somehow install someone's sight, when I say vision or hearing, that'll be great. But with all of this, being in the sciences for so long, there's always a darker side to everything. There's always this mirror image of everything good that we try to do in science that has this negative counterpart, and we got to always guard against that, I think. So while there are always good intentions at the beginning, with these proposals, there's always going to be that flip side, the yin yang, whatever approach you want to call, and we got to guard against that, I think. Yes.
Yes. No, you hit the nail on the head. And I'm so glad that you are talking to grade 9 and grade 10 pupils, Megan, because now we can educate them that they are going to be our future leaders, our future adults in the next 5 to 10 years' time. And they need to ensure that they are ethical in what they do. That means they want to promote the well-being of all human beings, like you said, those with disabilities, and make this world a better place. I think it was Michael Jackson that said that. Heal the world.
Absolutely.
I know Megan likes Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for that question.
Okay, there's a nice question over here. It's quite a general one. Maybe this is a good closing question from Sahitya. He says, what is the highlight of your IT career?
The highlight of it is being in front of a classroom, is teaching you, and you are coming back to me after a couple of years and say, sir, you told me that happened so long ago, and here it is true. So that's what I like, and that's what I feed off, the energy. I love your questions. I love being in front of the classroom. I just miss this face-to-face interaction with it. So that's my highlight in teaching you and being with you. And the other highlight I got to mention is just sitting alone in front of my computer and programming and typing, and to see the program working out afterwards. So that's what I enjoy immensely. I hope that one day you would tell me, say, I saw you on that Zoom meeting with Professor Megan Govender, and you spoke to me about some IT concepts, and here it is coming to fruition. That would make my day. So that would be a real great highlight. I don't know what you would say, Megan, as a teacher. What do you think when your former students come up to you and tell you that you inspire them in some way or the other to do something great?
I must agree. Yeah, that is probably the most rewarding feeling. Yeah, absolutely. And then the fact that they are actually going out there and making a change in the world, in the real world. Yeah.
Yes. That's what we want for all of you, a positive change in the world, right? You go out and study and you make a difference in this world. I like that, Megan. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're almost out of time. We have a few more questions, but what I'll do is I'll get them, I'll email them to you, or if you guys can email it to me, and then I can forward that. I'm using IT to Prinavin.
I converted you.
Been converted, yes. So yeah, and then we can come back to you with more detailed answers. And I think it'll be really good, maybe going forward sometime, have another maybe a discussion session surrounding all these questions. I think that'll be really useful.
I'm open to suggestions of maybe you just tell me when and where and how and how.
Yes.
Right.
Excellent.
Great.
So I just want to say a very big thank you to you, Dr. Govender, Prinavin Govender. I know he's probably one of the most humble people I've met and most enthusiastic. You've got to meet him in person, face to face, to feel his energy, and I think DUT really has a very prized possession. I hope they realize that. And
thank you, and you too, and to you too as well. We have a prized position, Professor Megan and Govender. I'm so proud to be associated with you, Megan, as well. So thank you.
Well, that's humbling. Thank you. Yes, and also to be, in front of these youngsters as well. Hopefully, and as you said, we're going to read about them in the papers. Well, when I say papers now, that's ancient. We're going to read about them on the internet,
online,
neural networks, online. Yeah, all of that. Maybe on Mars one day as well. So I want to thank everyone for attending this call, for asking questions, for contributing to the discussions. Thank you to Vineshri Govender as well for taking time off. I think that's, and then you said one of your colleagues from DUT was here. I forget his name.
Yes, from Nigeria.
Yes.
I don't know if it's still around. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm thankful for them to giving me the support.
Yeah.
I got to confess, they gave me support just in case I didn't have any answers. They were going to chip in. So thank you for that.
Yeah. So we will post this up on your YouTube channel. I'll also post this onto our Google Classroom. It's been recorded, so we can share this with students. And if they have any questions, then I will forward that to you. Yeah. All right.
Of course.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, and thank you to
Mr. Robot.
Oh yes, and your robot.
Mini-Me.
Mini-Me, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
One day we will be programming Mini-Me.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much, guys. Yeah.
On this, yes.
Your last thoughts, Prinavin?
Sorry, all the resources are there. All the resources are available on the screen. I'm unable to click on the little icon to share it. So feel free to share my, watch the resource presentation again, learn something, watch the grade 10 videos. And there's my mini-me in action at the bottom out there, Megan. He really does work,
Oh, yes,
right?
yes,
He
yes.
really does work. That's me. That's when I programmed him in my class,
Excellent.
right? So I had to share the activation part of mini-me, right?
Okay, yes.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
so
much for joining us this afternoon. It was actually quite enjoyable, sir.
excellent.
Oh, I'm happy. Thank you
All
for
right.
that.
Yes, and I'm sure we'll get Dr. Govender back soon, and I'm sure you'll be armed. Most of you guys will be armed with more questions, and we'll have a greater discussion. So thank you, guys. Enjoy your evening. Stay safe, and please feel free
Thank
to
you.
email me or WhatsApp me with any questions, and I'll forward that to Dr. Govender, and we'll get back to you. So thank you, guys, once again, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Should be